Good evening, everyone. Our documentary is about the involvement of Nestle in the Flint water crisis. Before we get into that, we must first understand what a responsible business is and why is it important. A responsible business is essentially one that has a positive impact on the society and the environment in which it operates, and also at the same time addresses the negative impacts it might have on the society. It builds a greater trust and strengthens its relationships with its stakeholders at every level, which generates greater value over time. Business can help decision makers make more responsible decisions, ensuring that the social and environmental impacts are balanced against those of financial gain. Being responsible also means being sustainable. Applying sustainable practices can also help in reducing costs and drive innovation. People believe that responsible businesses have the ability to nurture a more cohesive society and that they can contribute to a sustainable economic system. Companies have recognized the potential of strategic business goals to improve their competitive advantage. These goals can also improve the skills and engagement of their employees, enhance their understanding of local markets, and help them to be full, productive members of the communities they serve. Environmental responsibility in business may seem like it's targeted at big oil companies, lumber businesses, farming, and other businesses that have a more direct impact on the environment. But that's actually not the case. Even if one's business operates entirely within the confines of an office building, environmental responsibility is still on the list of ethical issues in business that one should pay mind to. Every business owner is responsible for their carbon footprint that their company produces. That applies to how their business affects air quality, water cleanliness, the safety of endangered species, the use and conservation of other natural resources, the pristineness of protected nature reservations, and so on. Fortunately, the US government has made laws to address most of the environmentally related ethical dilemmas in business. Those laws include the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act, the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, and so on. Nestle was originally founded by Henry Nestle, but it was later formed in 1905 by the merger of the Anglo-Swiss Milk Company, founded by brothers George Page and Charles Page. Nestle's product line includes baby food, bottled water, breakfast cereals, coffee, confectionery, dairy products, ice cream, pet foods, and snacks. The current CEO of Nestle is Mark Schneider. Nestle generates annual sales of more than 1.1 billion US dollars. It has 447 factories in 189 countries and has an approximate of 339,000 employees. As a nutrition, health, and wellness company, Nestle is committed to the improvement of value of life by helping community in which it operates to meet basic and necessary human needs, but it has failed to do these things multiple times. Our group will be talking.
The drinking water of Flint was polluted in April 2014 as the residents of the city were in very poor condition due to its state leaders who have cancelled the previous contract which stated that the state of Michigan will be supplied with Detroit water system, but later on the deal of Detroit has been cancelled and the deal has been assigned to the Flint River. This has caused huge anger and frustration amongst the people of Michigan due to the severe effect on the health of the people living there, as there has been a drastic change in the smell, color, and the taste of water which was easily noticeable. In spite of taking the situation under control, the state government and the health officials presented a wrong and falsified document by changing them to the United States Environmental Department about the Flint water issue in order to gain more profit from it, neglecting the people's right and their health safety. Michigan's Attorney General Bill Schuette filed a complaint against the two most famous water supply companies, Veolia and Lockwood Andrews and Newman, also known as Land these days, for not complying with the public's health and anonymously causing damage to the Flint water that worsened people's health. More of the Flint water crisis has been occurred due to mishandling and improper management of finance, and also due to focusing a lot on increasing the operational cost. The company, state government, and health department highly focused on generating high profits and high growth of finance in their respective departments by completely ignoring the health and safety related issues of the Flint citizens.
Nestle expressed their concern to the city of Flint, Michigan, which was undergoing a massive water crisis at the time, a crisis which still takes a toll to this day. Meanwhile, the company was using nearby water reserves for their own bottled water products. Nestle was bottling hundreds of thousands of bottles, paying only $200 to use this natural reserve. The community has no access to fresh water because Governor Rick Snyder switched the city's water supply from one of Michigan's most pristine water sources to the harmful Flint River in an attempt to save money, while the citizens of Flint live in a constant state of disarray, worrying about how to survive. Nestle has been making profit. The officials avoided the safety issues concerning the residents of Flint through hiding and covering the proof of large amount of lead that has been found in the river, providing poison side effects to those who were drinking the water of it while tremendously affecting the children their entire life, giving the false evidence of its existence. Nestle has been repeatedly sued over its aggressive acquisitions of private water reserves and the alarming amount of water it sucks out of Michigan's ground. Nestle's Water CEO Tim Brown said that if he could bottle more of California's water for profit, he would. Nestle Corporation consists of a large number of stakeholders, where Nestle had announced their stakeholder groups linked to the environmental issues which involves academia, communities, consumers, general public, customers, employees, governments, industry, trade associations, intergovernmental organizations, reporting agencies, shareholders, and the financial communities, as well as the people of Flint who were affected by the irresponsible action performed by Nestle. Nestle were pumping 200 gallons worth of fresh water out of Michigan's water, in which the people of Flint desperately need this water. Therefore, 12 people were killed by the Flint, Michigan crisis, and 87 were hospitalized. In addition, because of the huge amount of fresh water that Nestle were pumping, Flint residents have not accessed fresh water for 1,510 days. Plus, some of Flint residents pay more than $200 per year for the contaminated water that courses through their taps. Nestle requested a permit from the Michigan's Department for Environmental Quality, which allows it to pump 400 gallons of water per minute out of the state's freshwater sources for only $200 per year. This will lead to reduction in the amount of Michigan's fresh water in the long term, as well as poverty. The residents of Michigan were receiving unaffordable and undrinkable tap water despite Nestle's water plant being in close distance of Flint's degraded public water supply. Nestle profited off the residents as they were required to buy bottled water as the free tap water was lead poisoned, which will lead to serious health conditions in the long and short term.
In conclusion, Nestle is considered as one of the important water resources in Michigan, in which 200 gallons of fresh water were supplied out of Michigan during the Flint drinks poison. To support this, the multinational has been under fire in Michigan since 2003, when a judge ordered Nestle to stop its operations due to ecological harm and a massive reduction in water levels from its operations, in which the water problems across the state are due to corruption, self-interest, and public interest. But in light of the Flint crisis, where thousands of people in Michigan rejected clean water because of a state-caused disaster, a state law that grants a billion-dollar company direct access to the same precious state resource for profit, whereas in the same month the state decided to stop giving free bottled water to Flint. Whereas, in addition, according to Bloomberg reports, Nestle, which first began bottling water from a canal in Switzerland in 1834, now has around 100 bottled water facilities in 34 different countries, for which the company set up a bottling factory in Swan Road, Michigan, 750 miles north of Grand Rapids in 2000. Thank you.